Let me know. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? I couldn't hear that video, so let me know. I don't know what's up. Might need to turn this joint down too. Let me see. Testing. Y'all can hear me? Yeah, that's better. Too damn loud. What's up? Oh, y'all. Davey said he can hear me. Oh, I'm probably still too loud though. I feel like there's a lot of echo. Let me turn the gain down. Let me see. Testing, testing, testing. Yeah, I'll figure it out at some point. But either, yeah, I don't like this echo, man. What the fuck is that? I don't like this shit, man. Testing. I don't like this echo. Echo, echo, echo. I'm going echo and shit. Talking about some echo. Testing, 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 testing. Okay. All right. This is gonna get, man. All right, we on a late night, John, man. I have to travel with my. No, this shit still ain't right, man. Can y'all hear me good? Like it sound like an echo, don't it? I don't know how to get this shit off here. Hold on a second. Let me fix this. Speaker audio. All right. All right. Let me know if y'all can hear me clear. If y'all hear echo, then I'll get started. Okay. Yeah, because some sound off. All right, y'all can hear me just fine. Maybe it's just these headphones and shit. I got these state of the art motherfucking whatever you call them. All right, so no echo on y'all end. All right, so if y'all don't hear the echo, it's cool. It's just something with my equipment then, so I'll just take the headphones off. I don't need to. I can hear myself anyway, so it doesn't matter. All right, so cool. Let me say what's up to everybody. Kim Wright, what's up? He said I'm clear. Larry Johnson, what up, though? 817, Mr. Talk Too Much, what up? Blast Media Network, Brian Jenkins, Sam Stevens, Daniel Park, Davey 84. What up, man? You in here arguing again? I already know. He said audio is good on our end. Maybe it's just you hearing through them headphones. You was right. He said I can hear you just fine. Joey Coco. You sound like a mobster, man. Joey Coco. You sound like you got bodies and shit. I ain't gonna tell on you and shit, but you know, man, I don't want no trouble. You know what I'm saying? Riley Garcia, DP Johnson. Yeah, that's he sound like a porn star. DP Pause, but I'm just saying it's a fucked up name, dog. I mean, you might want to change that. Troy Dudley. Trey Manning, what's up? Sin City Cowboy. Sound like a stripper name. Jahan Jordan, what's good? I think I got everybody. Neek, what's up? 704. Yeah, I mean, what's good with you, Brody? Yeah, man. Like I said, I'm going to my son's tournament, so I'll be traveling, and I wanted to, and I didn't want to like miss, content for that long. So I said, let me just jump on the late night because I got a flight tomorrow to catch. But wanted to discuss the 53-man roster, man. Hold on a second. Akoye, go holla at your boy Vach. He said they killing Mazi. Hey, man. My thing was never that you have to like Mazi. I don't care if you don't like him. I don't care if you think that we need more at the defensive tackle position, because I would say we do need more at the defensive tackle position, right? I wouldn't disagree with that. I wouldn't say that he's been consistent, right? Fully. But don't lie on what he has done. That's all I ask. So you don't gotta like him. Watching them probably don't like him. And I can't make them like him. I mean, I can't make anybody do that. My outpour was because you was lying on main man name. So I had to go at him for that. But that was it. It wasn't I'm gonna go and be a crusader for anybody who don't like Mazi. I don't give a shit. People don't like me. I ain't arguing with them either. So I don't care about that. He said, yo, Akoye, Micah contract. Don't you think Jerry's standing on business for the rest of the owners? They hate David for the 240 Deshaun got and the collusion case. Do you agree? Well, let's get to that since you asked, right? With the Micah Parsons contract, I did listen to Jerry's interview with Stephen A. Smith, and I have to say, Jerry's a genius, because he dances that line, or he plays that line between you know, I'm a slick motherfucker. Oh, excuse me, I'm a slickster, and just keeping it real. Like some of it is slick talk, some of it is him just telling the truth, and I do think he's more so in this one telling the truth because he has all the leverage. So when you play in the media, and I think that David Mugaletti, I don't know how to say his name. My man Wyatt from YSM Sports is his cousin. He was just here interviewing me too. But David, his agent, has a history for getting what may be the best for the player as far as money is concerned, but it leaves like a wake of destruction behind it, and people kind of act like that's not happening. Like Jalen Ramsey had to get traded to get his money, right? Then you had a couple holdouts, guys that it was more than just that. It was like a whole list of them. You guys can Google it though, but Google the players. Someone actually put it on Twitter. It was dope. But Google the players that he's managed and he's done contract negotiations for, and see how they went. They might be for the best of the players as far as money, but the teams, no teams really. I mean, maybe the team that gets them after the fact may win, but if the purpose when you sit down, if I sit down with you, and this is what my problem is with Micah Parsons and Jerry Jones, my problem with their issue. If I sit down with you and my end goal, I have an end goal when I sit down with you to do business, like whatever that end goal is, right? If you represent me and you're my lawyer, right, and I have an end game, if my end game is get paid as much as I can get, and I don't care who pays me, then I will hire David Mogaletta, right? If that's my end game. If my end game is I do want to get paid substantially well or great or even the top, but I also want to stay here and play for this team, right? Then if that's my wish and I'm Micah Parsons, my agent has to respect my wishes. You know what I'm saying? And if he talked to Jerry, which Jerry said he did speak to him, I do understand the sentiment of the two parties involved actually having to be okay with the deal. I do get that. And if Micah already started the negotiation and he initiated it, I don't know if that part is true. It was kind of a little foggy. He said that's like might have been some slick talk when he said Micah wanted his number. Then he said that he asked to come in, but I don't think he asked for his number for no reason. So if Micah did in fact ask for Jerry's number and meet with Jerry, then that's a valid negotiation that you initiated. And if I begin negotiating and we get to the solid uh, milestones in that contract that we bang with, we both agree, and we do leave there with an agreement. And now your agent is like maybe a formality. Now, don't get me twisted. Maybe the agent comes and puts some bells and whistles on it and say, "All right, well, add this and do. All right, maybe can we do that?" Redlining. I've done contracts in corporate sales where I ain't got time to wait for a legal team to come up with a contract, right? I'm going to rewrite it. I'll just write it in legalese to the best of my ability, and then I'll send it to our own corporate attorney to redline it. Meaning, tell me where I sound crazy, and you rewrite those lines, or you do certain things that make sure I'm covering our CYOA. I'm covering my own ass, right? Cool, that's cool. But if he went back to the drawing board, that is a bad faith negotiation. Meaning, if his agent then, after Micah softened him up and negotiated to a certain point, boom, we got you from nothing to 70% of what you wanted, and our 60-40 or Micah split. Now, after we've agreed to that limit, your agent comes in and say, that's where we're going to start from. Now you can kiss my ass. You crazy? No, we're not doing that. Now I agree if that's what happened. If that is exactly what happened, I ain't hear Micah say it ain't happened, but I know he might not want to do the back and forth thing. But if that is what happened, I agree with Jerry. If that's what happened, I agree with Jerry. So yeah, that's how I feel about the Micah contract talk. He said, what he say? Micah should have never engaged in any conversation without his agent. I don't think that's true either. I agree with Jerry when it comes to the way you do business. If I'm doing business with you And like I said, we are the parties that have to be pleased. I have to be happy with the contract. If I have to be happy with the contract, like I do contracts now. If I'm doing a contract with a venue, yeah, I have a lawyer who will go and read what I wrote or read, like I said, what I have to deal with to make sure Live Nation ain't trying to get you or the venue ain't trying to get you or something like that. Cool. Yeah, you got to do that. But I'm still the one on the phone talking it out and making sure I hit the key points that I want so that, the KPIs are on my side. Like we got performance indicators that got to be lined up, especially if even if we take a sponsorship money, it's KPIs in that where it's like what are your expectations? You know what I'm saying? I'm talking that out. Now they'll send it to a lawyer after that. So I don't think that's horrible, but I get it. If Jerry had got over on him, then cool. But I don't think he got over on him if he said he offered him the highest pay outside of a quarterback ever for a defensive player and highest guaranteed money anyway. And they agreed on the years. That's pretty much the contract is how much we gonna get paid, how long you want me to play. You know what I'm saying? For that money. If they on that and they was feeling that, they both was on that, then I think, it's bad faith to try to start from that point and get even more. Like now you trying to just like you trying to fully take over. He said, but Akoye, if I'm gonna go outside my representation, what am I paying them for? You paying them to make sure you don't get screwed in the deal. Meaning, if I put a deal on the table, if they send a deal over and you look at it and you say, okay, what? Let's sit down. Now that we have one, an offer, let's sit down and review it. What do we like? What don't we like? And then let's give them a counter based on that. That's okay. But to say we don't need it because we gonna start negotiations soon as if it ain't even happened. Who are you? How are you trying to that's where that's where the BS is on the agent side. Who are you, even if you are my representation? Like I always hated this when I go to court. I had some cases before, like, I ain't gonna talk about them. But um your lawyer, you work for me. I don't work for you. So who is the agent to say, yeah, you spoke? You ain't gonna young boy me. I'm Micah Parsons. You spoke on your own behest, right? And Jerry spoke to you. You two are the authorities here. Who am I to say none of that happened? Because I said so. Like, how you young boying the people who are involved? That's what Jerry's saying. Is like, you not the authority here, bro. We the ones that got to live with the deal. Now you can not like what Micah did. You can reprimand him if y'all do that kind of thing. But you can't come in and tell me that what we just spoke on as men didn't happen and we gonna act like it ain't happen because you said so. Who are you? So I understand all the shit that was happening in the media where he like not even saying Buddy name. He was doing that on purpose. You know what I mean? Jerry is a petty bull, but I understand that. I do get that. So I don't have a problem with Jerry in that regard. I really don't. I know a lot of people think that I should or we should just jump out there and start, chopping it up at him for that. But I think in this particular case, Jerry's on the side of right. And then the threaten to get traded and act like you're not gonna play. Okay, do that. But you're gonna lose money, right? Um, you're definitely gonna lose some sort of twitch because you're just sitting around. And he got two friends. He just said it. I got you for 3 years. I got you. I got him for 3 years. He might be foul, but he's a smart businessman. But he got him for 3 years. So you're not wrong, man. And let me ask you this, right? If at the end of the day, you are Jerry, what do you do with Micah? You just pay him whatever he asks for just because he asked for it? Now, Jerry did speak on that. He said, I like to pay at the end, and maybe that's just me. I get you on that. And he gambling against the person's body and their money. He's like, shit, which one gonna break down first? Because I don't want to pay you, and then you break down the year I gave you your money. So I get that. I get that. But yeah, enough of Jerry. But just understand like the way he handled his business and the way he went about it, we might not like, but I do understand if everything he's saying is true. Now that I don't know. All right, let me see what else y'all saying in here. He said Micah wanted a contract last year for significantly less, and Jerry wasn't hearing him. Since Jerry waited and the top pass rusher got paid, the price only goes up. Jerry is at fault for waiting again. I mean, that whole dynamic is all BS. And I'm not saying like, you know, total BS, but I'm just saying it's some BS to it because it's fuzzy math when you think about it. Like when people talk about the salary cap, it goes up on a sliding scale every year. So everybody's pay, I mean, you're gonna pay more anyway if you wait. But when you look at the rate of inflation with the fact that the CBA and the salary cap, according to CBA, goes up in increments each year. Yeah, you pay more next year than you paid last year, but you also have more money to pay out or more available resource capital to pay out as a result of the salary cap as well, right? So I don't know. I don't really get into. I stopped chasing that years ago after the Dez situation because it's like contractually, I can see how companies are trying to protect themselves because you have this is flesh, right? I mean, people break down, and I can understand how those individuals who don't look at themselves as businesses going to have a problem because you got to realize you are a business, you're a brand, and realize that early, maximize your potential, make your money, right? Understand and invest your money. I understand that aspect from the player too, like get what you can get. But that's why I stopped getting all in the middle of it because I'm like, it's gonna get nasty. The player's gonna get nasty. I ain't on nobody's side, but the player for real, for real. Get your money, young boy. But I understand business, so I can't be mad at a business for playing hardball. I can't be mad at Jerry for playing hardball. I can't. Because Micah was hurt last year. That's what he said. He said he missed some time last year. So I get it, but I think he deserved his money. I didn't like how Dak had to go about getting his money, but what I will say is, even though they will make you go through it, and they have, I got a moth in here somewhere, but they will make you go through it, and they have made players go through it. They do still give them their money even after injury. They gave Gallup money, and I don't think they should have gave Gallup that money after that. But they gave Gallup his money. They gave Dak his money. I think after injury. Um, um, who else? I think Jalen was injured when he got here. He got money. You know what I'm saying? So they will pay. Trayvon got his money, and then what happened to him? He ain't played since he got paid. I haven't seen Trayvon. Trayvon ain't looked like he played hard football since the day he got that money. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of understand the business from that standpoint too. You know what I mean? Are you going to be available if I give you this money? Because I'm tying up money and that I could pay 3 Pro Bowlers or 4 Pro Bowlers. And are you going to be here? Are you going to be as dedicated? So that ain't my business, man. But the product that you put on the field, because I look at it as an injury. Like if you holding out, you're injured. You're not gonna play. And if you do play, you're probably gonna get a soft tissue. I don't want to say that. Not gonna hope you don't get injured. I wish him very well, but you need to play in training camp. You need to get your body in shape for football. And Micah is not ready to play football right now, regardless of what happens with his contract. That's what I look at. And if he does play football, is he going to be able to play automatically? The answer to this one, but is he going to be able to play to the top of his ability and maximize everything he can do on the field? No, because he's not ready to play football. See what I'm saying? So that's the biggest issue for me, and that's what I'm thinking about. I'm not thinking about the contract per se, you know. And because I'm like, if you are going to play anyway, I understand skipping training camp to a degree and not want to get injured because you in contract talks, but if you guys already agreed on a number that is the highest anyway prior to training camp, this shouldn't be a problem. Because just like they say, Jerry could have paid him already. They could have gotten paid already if they wanted the deal that was already offered. He didn't say I'm not negotiating with you early, even though I got you for 3 more years. He said, "Here you go. I'll pay you this," and y'all agreed. And you mad because now you want to negotiate when you want to negotiate, which is now, which is early, right? But now you want it on your terms. Like, no, no. But I spent enough time on that. Y'all got me rambling and rambling. I'm going in. Let me see what else y'all talk about here. Hit that like button too. Yeah. Let's see. Boom. All right. Okay. So other news, right? Let's start with the offense first, because it's gonna be a sort of like an inventory video. But obviously, Dak made the team. He did it again. Hoorah! You know what I'm saying? He made it. Joe Milton is listed. They only kept two quarterbacks. Maybe Greer. I don't know. Maybe Greer somewhere gets to the practice squad. I don't know. But they only kept two, and Joe Milton is the second right now. They think that Joe Milton put a performance together in that Falcons game that gave them confidence in him, and I wouldn't disagree. I looked at the way Joe Milton played, and I said, that's what I was expecting from Joe Milton initially, because of all the talk that was coming out of camp, all the throws that you saw coming out of camp. It seemed that it didn't match the first two games that you saw him in. But I didn't know, is it this guy's just not that bright, or is he jittery and anxious because he's trying to perform and trying to do too much, right? And I think it's probably that, because he looked more so how I expected him to look um in this game. He looked pretty good. So and that's a quality backup, so I can definitely um vouch that that's a good pick to me. Running back room, right? You know the two rookies made it. So Maffa and Blue made it. Hunter Lipke is on the team. Love Hunter. I think he's going to be a pivotal piece this season, because I never see. First off, not to get racial like in a negative way, but y'all got y'all great white hopes, right? And when you got a white coach that got a play, there go that moth, see ya. But you got a white coach that got a player that's like that got a great white hype, like Jason Sehorn type player that's like the athlete of the century, or a Christian McCaffrey type player. They're gonna use the shit out of him. Mike Allstott. They're gonna use the shit out of him. So Hunter Lipke is gonna get a heavy dose this season. I pause, but I do think he's gonna get utilized quite a bit this season. So look for Hunter Lipke. But then the other two, obviously, Miles Sanders and Javante Williams are on the team. So that's your running back room. I like the running back by committee idea with the talent that we have. It reminds me of what he did when he was in Seattle. I don't remember all the names of the running backs, but he had a gang of them. This moth, I gotta kill him, man. I hope ain't none of y'all vegans or none of y'all pacifists. But he fly by my face again, I'm gonna slap the shit out. But anyway, that's your running back room. Wide receivers, same. They kept Flournoy, but they didn't keep Brooks, and I think Brooks and Flournoy were like almost a tie in the way they produced in this offseason. But here's the problem I got with the evaluation anyway. Joe Milton played like shit, and y'all let the man play every quarter. I think Will Greer could have got, even though y'all say y'all know what Will Greer is, and this is where some of the philosophy got some chinks in it, because it's like the philosophy from Schottenheimer is we didn't want to play Will Greer because we kind of know what he can do, and we know he can play, but y'all cut him. But y'all know he can play, y'all know what he is, right? Cool. But you don't know what these wide receivers are. And you got Joe Milton throwing the ball to him for the first two games, the whole game, and he was playing like ass. So you didn't even get a chance to evaluate the receivers as much. You had to rely on what they did in camp. And if you're relying on what they did in camp, then this cut kind of is crazy too. Trayshawn Holden getting cut, he was killing in camp. He got cut. But I knew they was only going to keep 5. I didn't think they were going to keep 6. And you kind of think about it. Last year, Tolbert led the team in touchdowns, and Schottenheimer's not cutting a guy that he likes. He actually says Tolbert's name in a positive fashion because of the way Schottenheimer designs his offense. And if you know how he designed his offense, you would know why he likes Tolbert. People who don't know that probably thinks that Tolbert was in trouble during the training camp. Never was. I'll tell you why in a second. Then you got Terp. Terp got paid. Obviously Terp's staying. He's not going nowhere with the year he put up last year. So that's your 4 right there with JP and CD. That's 4. So it's only one extra spot. in the receiver room, and Flournoy, Flournoy won it. Great. But the reason he loves Tolbert so much is most offenses don't tell you who the pro offenses. They don't tell you the uh, the number one receiver who's getting the ball. They don't tell you who's targeted really on the play. The quarterback will know. The coach knows. The receivers won't know. And the reason they don't know, why do you guys think that is? It's because they won't run the routes as fast if they don't think they're getting the ball. Usually, some players won't, right? Because there's a certain depth that certain routes have to be ran, and there's a certain concept that's being run where timing is everything. And if you're not on time because you're kind of loafing because you're not getting the ball, that safety might not be in the proper position for the quarterback to even get to the intended target, right? So, not to be long winded, but what Schottenheimer did in this offense is he'll tell you you're playing for the love of the game. You ain't getting the ball. But what I need you to do very well is set this pick as fast as you can, Tolbert. All right, go do that. You ain't getting the ball, but go do that and do it well. And he will go do it selflessly because he don't care if he get the ball. So when he does that, guess what he rewards him with? Touchdowns, and he will have favor on his team, and he will stay on his team because he does the things that stand out to the coach in the way he likes, right? Whereas George Pickens ain't gonna do that. CD might be doing it now because he got paid. He go do it. He's the leader. I got to do what I got to do. Get what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. So that's the way he runs his offense. So he likes players like Tolbert due to that. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Moving forward, tight end room. You had Spanford who made it, and I'm going straight off the top. I just been going off memory. When I get to the offensive line, I'm gonna have to refer to something though. But I know Spanford, Shoemaker, and Ferguson are our tight ends. I didn't expect any different because none of them played in the preseason. So I said, I didn't see them anyway. If they did play, so I said, yeah, they already solid. Obviously, Guyton still the right tackles on the edge, and then I don't remember the other two kids' names, but I will get to them in a second. Hold on 1 minute. Let me pull it up because you know how I am with names. It's horrible, man. It's bad. 53-man roster, buddy. All right. Where were we? We were in offensive line, so tackle room. So Nate Thomas made it. Nate Thomas strong as hell, but they love Nate Thomas, so you know why he's here. Then you have Ajani Cornelius. Don't really remember his tape. I haven't really watched him or to target him or whatever, but I will watch some of the offensive line film. I haven't watched much of any offensive film from the Cowboys preseason so far. I've been on Mazi work. So there you go. We will get to Mazi in a second too. Interior offensive line. You got Tyler Smith in that room, Cooper Beebe, Tyler Booker, TJ Bass, and Brock Hoffman. That's a solid ass room right there. That's a whole nother start. This is what y'all got to start really looking at too, right? Because we talk a lot about Jerry and them and about what he does or doesn't do, but we damn sure do got a lot of rebuilt and young and vibrant offensive linemen that can play or that have played that I trust to play, right? You got 5 interior linemen that have all gotten starting time, I believe, except for Booker. And Booker's a first round draft pick, so I ain't worried about him. You know what I'm saying? So you got 5, and then 3 of them are first round talents: Cooper Beebe, Tyler Smith, and Booker, and they start. You know what I'm saying? Then Tyler Guyton, another first round talent, who I hope that he ate Vacha's peanut butter paws. I just breathed some here, but Tyler Guyton, Terrence Steele. You got 7 linemen that we trust and I think can play right now. And then we just traded one. Austin Richards went to the Saints. I'm glad he went to the Saints because he wasn't going to play here. And I think that he's one of those guys like a Steele who is gonna surprise a lot of people. I liked Awesome. I just don't know why they never gave him enough playing time to really catch. It's like he never was really mentioned in rotation. I don't know if he fell out of favor with the coaches or maybe he was injured at the wrong times, but I liked him coming out of UNC. I think it was North Carolina. Yeah. Yeah, got through the running back room, got the tight ends, wide receivers, CD Lamb. I did that. All right, so now we're on edge. I mean, I think Parsons made the team, but no, but seriously though, no jokes, no jokes. First, let's just say who made the team. James Houston made the team, everybody. So that's like he definitely deserves some fire in the chat for that because James Houston, I thought they was gonna do him like they did Isaiah Land last year or the year before. Land was killing and they got rid of him. That pissed me off. And I'm like, how you gonna get better doing shit like that? But in all seriousness, now that I've gotten that out the way, this edge room is stacked and it's crazy. You got Micah Parsons and Fowler, Marshawn Nealon, who I don't know about him yet, but I like him. I like how physical he is. So Marshawn Nealon, Donovan Ezeraku, nasty. James Houston, nasty. Sam Williams, nasty. Like, let's just say if Micah didn't start the beginning of the season, you got Sam Williams and Fowler that can start. You got Ezeraku and Williams that can start. You got Nealon and Fowler that can start. You got so are they gonna give you a Micah give you? Hell no. But this room is stacked and it's crazy. But we still need Micah. Let's just keep that in mind, right? Defensive tackle room. So now we can get to what y'all wanted to get to. Mazi here, y'all. I mean, I knew Mazi was gonna be here. I didn't think they would cut him. Like, I think all of the, focus that's on Mazi though is coming from the fact that, he's had two an up and down year his first year, and then he had a down and up year his second year. So the second year he started off a little slow, and then he caught on after probably like week 11. He just started tearing shit up, right? Problem is inconsistency. So, and I said that to people who were watching the other day. I broke down his toughest opponents, and it's crazy because I'm kind of like this. Some people perform better when the competition is better. It seems like that's the way Mazi is. When it's a divisional game, he ball the fuck out. Excuse my French. But I've caught in games. I found that's the reason I didn't see him because I was watching his toughest opponents. But I did find film of Mazi looking like not good, and I'm like, what is going on with that? So I do understand the consistency conversation that Schottenheimer had with him. I would have had that conversation with him. Everybody who thinks that I think that you have to love Mazi, that was never the argument. Don't lie on the man's film. Don't lie on what he can do, and don't cut him because obviously, if he started to trend up last year, why would we cut him when he starts to show us the promise that we've been waiting for in the first place? That's like that don't make much sense. I won't use any analogies that hurt people's feelings, but that don't make a lot of sense to me. So that was my argument and still is, but I do agree that consistency is needed from Mazi. I think Mazi would agree with that, so I don't think there's no argument there with that. But Jay Toye made the team, who I think should make the team. I like Jay Toye coming out, and I think that Jay Toye is only a 7th-round pick because one Techs were devalued in this draft. I think he's really a 3rd to 4th-round talent, a 5. Because when you look at I look at the linebackers that were with UCLA last year and the way they played, and then Schlesinger, whatever his name is, who I think he went 1st or 2nd round, but number 49, whoever that kid is. But if you watch his film, I didn't. This is how I found Mazi the same way I found Jay Toye. I wasn't looking for Mazi. I was looking at, I think, Michigan linebackers. I might have been looking at their edges that year, right? And then I was just like, who was 58? And then after I said that, Law did a video of 58 running up the field and tackling somebody after a screen pass. He just ran all the way up the field. So I was like, who was 58? So then I watched his film and I was like, oh shit. So it's not like I knew who Mazi was. I don't even watch college football. I watched their film. I'm serious. So people will tell me whose film to watch, and then I'll go watch it. And I'm like, oh, I like this kid. Or I'm looking at another person, and then the film will tell me who I like. Because I was like, forget this guy. Who that over there? What's up with his story? Like, you know what I mean? When is he getting drafted, or when is he entering the draft? I'll look at that. But well, I say all that to say, Jay Toye's film, I got turned on to him, pause, because I was looking at UCLA linebackers because I was one of the linebacker in this draft, and Jay Toye stood out. But he made the team. I think Jay Toye is going to play in rotation at one tech with Mazi, and then Perion Winfrey is a spell guy, meaning he's going to be like your. He made the team as well, but he's going to be your Chauncey Golston type, where or your Tyrone Crawford, if you guys remember that guy. The guy who could spell not only your edges, because he can play big defensive end, sort of like Osa can, or he can play three tech or one tech, but just not a full game. You saw Chauncey at one tech at times, but you don't leave him there, but he can have some impact there. Sort of like Jay Ratliff back in the day. You don't got to be huge to play one tech if you do it the right way. So I hope that they deploy some of those techniques. But although Jay Ratliff was in the 3-4, so it's a totally different ball game. But you know how that goes. Let's keep going. So obviously Osa and Solomon Thomas are on the team. I don't have to tell you that. Morris Leofau. Let me go back to the screen because I don't know if y'all even talking to me. Let me see. I believe Dallas. He said Tyrone Crawford was solid. Yeah, he was like a C guy. I didn't like Tyrone Crawford. I look at those guys as progress stoppers. Hit him anyway, because he was good enough because he to beat you in camp, so he's going to make the team. But bad enough where you still want somebody else. You know what I'm saying? But he was good enough to make it. It was like Jason Witten at the end of his career. Is like Martellus Bennett can't beat you out, but you want Martellus Bennett in the game. You know what I'm saying? So he became that after a while. He said, Mazi gonna fuck around, go to the Chargers and ball out for hardball. Watch, I tell you. Watch what I tell you. He might. I think Mazi needs to be in the 3-4 anyway. I think the fact that you keep trying to make him a pass rusher or upfield attack guy, I felt bad for him when Eberflus said that, because that ain't Mazi. Like, put him in a 3-4, whether you put him at 3-4 defensive end, or you put him at 3-4 nose tackle. It doesn't matter. Anywhere up and down the line, in the middle, or on the line in the 3-4 with the 3 down linemen, you could put him anywhere in there and he's fine. I don't think he's a pass rusher from any of those places, but you can strategically stop the run by placing him anywhere up and down that line. And then you can get another nose that's in there with him at the same time to control the line of scrimmage with just 3 people. That's what I would do with a Mazi. I would make it so that if you watch Parsons film, his college film, and that was my vision for Mazi. I know people think this is like, uh, football highlight porn and shit. They were like, you always watching this college footage of Micah Parsons. I bang with it though. But let me see. I don't know if I put it up from my other computer or this computer. Let me see if I got that. Do I have it? Matter of fact, I just share the screen and I go to Twitter. Hold on a second, y'all. Boom. All right, now let me share my screen. The fact that this dude is big, man, explosive, and he's coming. Like he runs, I think a 4.3 or 4.4, something like that. Yeah, when you watch this film, I look at just watch don't watch Micah as much. I try not to. Watch the line in front of them. They ain't doing shit but taking up blocks, taking up space and crushing shit, but taking up space so he can run free. I was looking at Mazi as one of those type of guys, and now obviously you want him to get sacks. Obviously you want him to get tackles for loss. Yeah, but you first and foremost want him to free. Now look at that line. This is what I mean. Like this is all those 3 guys in front just cause enough chaos so that your linebackers can do what Micah's doing right there. Nobody touched him. That's all I really wanted him doing. Now, does he do that? Yes. But do we want him doing more than that? Of course. I don't got a problem with someone saying that.
I don't think that
So
there are
I do
many
get it
mock
when they
drafts that
say
are
that
that
you need
accurate
more.
when
They
it comes
want
to
him to
that.
take
Maybe
another step forward because of the pick that they
position-wise,
put on.
you'll know what
You know,
they'll
they
go
put on
after,
him.
but
If
they're
he
gonna
was
take
a
the best player
third
in his
round
position
guy who was
available.
doing what he's doing right
And
now,
a
you'd
lot
be
of
like,
people mad
he's
about the
a
Micah
pivotal
Parsons
role
pick,
player, but you don't want a
but I
pivotal
don't see
role
why, man.
player
Like taking a
for a
player
first round
that
pick.
draws
And that's
comparisons
the
to
problem
Miles
with
Jack,
Mazi. He's
doesn't
a role
hesitate, very
player. He's
explosive.
Robert
He had
Ory,
problems in the
and
running
you want him
game.
to be
He
Kobe,
comes in, he fills
and
those
he ain't
problems with no
Kobe.
problem
So,
whatsoever. That's what he likes to
I'm
do.
not saying
He
that he could never
hates
be. I
running
hope that
backs,
he
and he's
develops into
coming to
whatever he's going to
kill.
be. But
That's
his
just what he
effect
is,
on the
man.
team, though,
So
and the
I love
effect
him. I
that
mean, I love the pick.
Jay Toye is
You know,
going to
he
have
bench
as
presses this
well,
guy out of
having a
there,
true
still
nose
finds the
tackle,
ball.
is going to be
That's what I
this.
was looking
The
for. A
stuff
guy
that you
who can not
see
only press the
Parsons able to
pocket,
do when
you know, and
nobody's
destroy
touching him
things
in
and
this
be
film
disruptive,
is
but once he
exactly what
disrupts,
I want
still make a
all of our
play. And he's
linebackers to
able to
be
do
able
that.
to
He's
do,
not
which
one or
is
the other with
run
him. And
free to the
he
ball.
shows, you
When I
know, the
watched
ability to either crash,
Clark's
meaning
film
come
from
down and just bench
preseason,
press a guy up off
Clark's
of him,
film in
or he can give you
preseason
those
was
little shoulder
crazy.
dips
It's
that
like,
Sean Lee and
you know,
Joe
he
Thomas are famous
played like
for.
I never seen
Luke
him play
Kuechly and
since college. You know
Thomas
why?
Davis, they do
Nobody
it a
could touch.
lot
Watch
too.
this
Those
play.
little shoulder
Look at
dips
that.
where it
See,
looks like they're
this is
about to run you
all
something
I
and then just
need
gone, man. But he's
for
an
Micah Parsons.
athlete.
Him to
You see
be
how he just gets
freed
out
up
the
with
way of
running
that
backs
cut
and
block
tight
there. But
ends and shit
he's
like
an
that
athlete,
because you got.
very
I
light on
would I
his
would
toes,
definitely
very
do a
smart,
3-4
pays
look
attention
as
to
a
his
base
target,
and
but
probably like
it's like he sees
TJ Watt
through
him.
the
And the reason I
blockers
say that,
because
like, have him as an outside
when
linebacker
he's
that can
being
play like
engaged,
he's playing right
he'll get rid
now,
of him, but he doesn't lose much
anywhere
momentum while
off the
going.
line of scrimmage, anywhere in
If
the
there's
front seven,
nothing
you just put him
competing him,
anywhere and let
then
him
it's
wreak havoc.
probably a
But you
forced
need
fumble or
three
a
guys
bang bang
that could be in the middle
major
of the
play
field that are like,
because he's
it'd be like
always going for
Osa,
the ball. Like he
Mozzie, and
looks to make the play
like a
in every possible
Jonathan
scenario,
Hankins
and
type guy.
that
Like
is
those three
what we need
guys are
around here. I
responsible
just put that
for
in there just
at
to show
least
he
4
gets it
offensive
as good as he
linemen or
gives.
5
Sometimes I
offensive
had to give
linemen on
that
almost
that
every play.
little
I want
chip
you
block.
guys to
But
occupy as many of these
yeah,
guys as
man,
you
the
can
way
so that our 2
Micah
outside
fits into this
linebackers
defense, it
are
allows
one-on-one
Jalen
or
to
half a
roam, and
man with these
Jalen's going to
tackles
be able to
or with
go
a tight
play that
end
Sam
or with a
position,
running back. You know
not
what I'm
have to
saying?
be
So
responsible
I
for
don't know. I think
changing
that
direction and
that was
roaming
the vision
sideline to
for
sideline. That's
Mazi,
not
and I
Jalen's
do
thing.
think that was the
He can
vision
do it,
for
but
whoever
it
was
seems that he's
scouting
laboring
him
to
because
do
there's
it
no way
because of
you
that leg.
scouted him
That's not a
and
knock on him.
didn't look at
It's just
the
you put him in
way
position to do what he
Michigan
does best.
used
And I
him.
think
You know what I
Jalen is
mean?
better
So
coming forward
what
towards
else
the line
could
of
you have been
scrimmage,
thinking other
playing in
than
the
let's free up
backfield.
these
That's where
linebackers?
you
But
want Jalen. And
again,
Micah Parsons
Dan
allows
Quinn's not here,
Jalen to do
so who
just that.
knows what
Look at this
what that
comparison. I know
project
they
was. You know, just
compare him
like
to
any
Miles
other,
Jack, and
just like real
this is
estate
probably why, because he can
projects. You
do so
know,
many things and
one
he's a nimble, big
contractor
guy.
has a
But this
totally
was a
different vision than the other one.
cover
So if you
play, man. The
stop
way he cut
working,
that
another
route
one
off,
picks up. It's like who
that dig
knows
route
what
off was
that
beautiful.
end result is
And
going to
this is
be
all in the
because you
same
got too
game too.
many
That's what I
cooks in the
wanted to
kitchen,
tell
so
you
to
guys. Like
speak. You know
everything
what I
that
mean?
you see here in
Sorry for
this
using so
Memphis
many
game,
analogies,
this
but
was
you
in
know
a
what I
bowl
mean.
game. He had, I believe, 2
Yep,
sacks.
but let me take this off here. Boom. But yeah, that film right there, man, that always make me think of just like I said, just space saving players that are like, impossible to move, all in front of nimble linebackers that slash to the football and then just go for it. That's what I would do with guys like Sam Williams, who runs a 4-4, and Micah Parsons, who runs a 4-4, 4-3. And you got Demo, who run like a 4-4, he run like a deer too. You know what I'm saying? You got Morris, who can run. All those guys are moving. You know what I'm saying? Then you got Murray, who can run. Sanborn slow as shit, but he's smart. You know what I mean? But those linebackers, the audio, what's wrong with the audio? Oh shit. I didn't know that the audio was on. My bad. That must have been horrible. It was listening to me and the audio. I didn't even know the audio was on. My bad, y'all. Had no idea. Is it still on? Y'all can hear me now, right? Bad. Y'all should have told me a long time ago. Y'all ain't say nothing. When you going up against Jalen Carter twice a year, it makes Nazi look like shit, but he ain't that kind of guy. I don't even. I mean, even when you say that, when I watched Jalen Carter's film versus us, he did okay, but he was getting his ass whooped by Tyler Smith too. Though I did see that. Mazi did pretty good against the Eagles last year. He really did. Both games. Those are the only games he did look good. I'm not even gonna lie. Those games, Baltimore game, he looked pretty good except for that one play. He gave up a touchdown, obviously. And then all the other division games, the 2 Washington games, and he looked like a fucking Pro Bowler against New York Giants. I don't know why he looked good against them. So crazy. But yeah, in the Jalen Carter games, though, he looks good in those games. He's not a pass rusher in those games, but he gets tackled. He got all his tackles for losses, I think, came against the Eagles. And his best film that I saw was against the Eagles. Him going after Saquon the way he was going after him. Like that last game where Saquon was trying to get the record, he was going off. So that was just weird to me. I don't know. I don't get it. Yeah, that's true. He said it's the splash plays that Carter be making. Get his ass whooped 3 plays and then boom, that's part of being young too. Yeah, and that's honestly what my film said about him. It was like Jalen Carter is going to get you a sack or 2. You know, he's going to get you 8 sacks a season probably. He's going to get to that point where he's doing that consistently. But just like with Aaron Donald, I said he's like another Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald is a 3 tech. Jalen Carter's a 3 tech. We had Osa, who's a 3 tech, and you can run at Aaron Donald. That was the way. The way to beat Aaron Donald was to run at him, not run away from him, because he was smaller, undersized, and you could wear him down running at him. You couldn't run away from him though. Carter is that type. The way you deal with Carter is run at him. You know, and I'm not saying he's not trash for his run because he stops the run when he's slashing up the field. So when I made my comparison, I made it to Aaron Donald when it came to him. It's just the fact that he's a pass rusher and we didn't need another pass rusher. You know what I'm saying? So, and I never disliked him. I just don't like the idea of another troubled player. I didn't like the idea of another troubled player because the things that was coming out about him, like after the accident, he got caught speeding again. And we had David Irvin. And I'm like, yo, those type of guys where it's like, look, man, I don't even know if you're going to be here with your behavior issues. But he was speeding again after the fact. I'm like, yo, you just got in some major shit and you speeding again. It's crazy. Then they were in the car. I think right after he got drafted, it was him and Ringo. I think no, it might have been the linebacker. What's his name? Dean and the other kid, Smith, Nolan Smith. They were in the car. I think throwing up gangs. I don't fucking know. They look like they was throwing up gang shit. But I'm like, that was dumb as hell too. I'm like, yo, you setting bad optics for yourself real early. So that Pac-Man Jones energy, trust me, I always liked the rebels here, right? In the past. But I'm like, we've been doing that for so long with the fixer-uppers. I didn't want none of that. I just said, give me a blue collar polished, product now that I can do that I could just I know what I'm getting. I know what this is, right? Which I didn't. I thought Mazi was going to be honestly a little more solid, but they used him, in my opinion, they used him wrong his first year. I think last year was more like what he's supposed to be doing. But like I said, I get long-winded sometimes, but you know what I mean when I say that. Let me stop sharing this screen real quick, and then I get back over to y'all. All right, hold on a second. All right, let me get back over to the roster. Where the hell is the roster? All right. Linebacker room. Shamar James made the team, y'all. I like what Darius Harris did, even though not because we both share a name, but I really do like what Darius Harris was doing when he was in there. I honestly think. Well, they said this though, so I get it. But I honestly think he played better than Shamar James. But they also said when you have two guys that are similar in play or that are performing at a similar level, you take the younger guy, and that's Shamar James. So, quoting Brian Schottenheimer, that makes sense. Cornerbacks, the surprise there is Trayvon Diggs is going to make the 53-man roster because he just passed his physical. That is a surprise to you all. It's not really a surprise to me because I know some of his folks that live here and they don't think nothing wrong with it. And I don't mean like, I ain't gonna say who, but some people don't think nothing wrong with it. And they're like, ain't nothing wrong with it. But families just say shit sometimes. So who knows? Maybe something really is. But they ain't think nothing was wrong with it. But you see a guy walking, you think he can run, and that don't mean he can run. Just because you see him up and about, that don't mean he can cut. You know what I'm saying? So there could be something like that. Who knows? Kyer Elam, I think will start the season for him still though. Booth obviously made the team. I'm not as scared with our cornerback room at this point because I think Diggs is going to get back a little early, And if Elam's your third corner and rotating with Booth at your third corner, I don't dislike those guys as much. And I think Booth and Elam, because they were top prospects, I think they just needed to kind of get grounded. And I think this team and this defense is perfect for them because it's a vision based defense. And when Micah Parsons, who's the key piece to it, comes back, because with that Rod Marinelli tree, that's a tree that's built on pass rush. You got to be able to get there with four. You got it's in the Eberflush's defense. You got to be able to do that consistently as well. You know, you got to get there with your front, because everybody that's behind that line is just looking at the quarterback, waiting for those pop ups, those mistakes, those error throws, so that you get more opportunities at takeaways. So that's why it has so many takeaways, and that's good for corners who you don't want to think as much. You want to be in a system that's geared towards you being productive, versus one where you might be relied on to be on an island early, and your confidence may get dampened because you're going up against competition that's tearing you apart, like a Elam and a Booth early in their career. So hopefully this is a good reset for them. But last but not least, Zion Childress made this team. He's one of those guys, again, had no clue who he is, didn't care, But in that Rams game, he jumped off the screen where he came through. He was like, in the Rams game, he was doing some work. I think I got some film of him. Let me see what I got. But yeah, he's putting in work. I said, this boy is nasty. Let me hide this bull. I think these are his plays. So I didn't. He's to the left of the screen right now. Boom. But I see how he was like dealing with traffic, how he's flowing to the ball, how explosive he was. He didn't take many false steps. Like right here, like he's very confident, and he plays like his hair is on fire. And I thought he was a safety because he plays nickel like a big nickel. Like he plays like a safety, because he will come down and he will hit you. So we did lose J. Lou, who was a hitter. And I think we got another one in Childress, because Childress will come down and will smack you. And he got some electrifying plays in just preseason, like this right here. Boom! Look at that. That's different right there. Watch this. 48 right. Get rid of bull. Let's do it again. Whenever I see something like that, I didn't know who he was. Like I said, his film told me who he was. I learned him because I watched his film, and that's what I like. I like when I'm watching the guy. I'm watching film, and I just got to keep asking, like, who that? Who number 48? There's him slashing in there from the back right there. Boom. But yeah, so he could do a lot of stuff near the line of scrimmage. That's nice. And then his coverage ain't so bad either. I think he had a pass break up in this game too, I think. But his coverage ain't so bad. But he's more of an attack. He's an attack front type of nickel, meaning you use him like remember Landry? I don't remember if anybody remember DeJuan Landry that Rex Ryan used to have. He used him for everything. He was like a safety / corner tweener, but Rex Ryan used to use him. I think it's Landry, but yeah, Rex Ryan used to use him in a bunch of different ways. Like he would blitz off the edge, he would cover, he would play zone, he'd play flat. Like you just move him all over. He'd play him single high, he'd play him strong. He'd have him guard tight ends. Like Childress, I'm not saying he's all that. I'm just saying he plays like that though. He plays like it's less coverage and more, subterfuge and blitzing and just trickery. Especially we a vision team, so we're gonna play a lot of zone anyway. So you're gonna get that. No, not that Landry from the Redskins. No, I know not that Landry. It's DeJuan Landry. It's his brother. He has a brother, but it's not even that one. It's another dude. He played for the Jets, number 20. I don't remember his name though, but I think it was Landry. But anyway, it don't matter. He said, "Did Izzy make it?" Damn. Hold up. No. Ain't no way. Hold on. Let me make sure. Nope. Yo. They cut Izzy McQuamu? Get the fuck out. He must be injured. They cut Izzy McQuamu, dog? No. Hold on. That's crazy. Hold up. They cut it. They released Izzy McQuamu. That's wild. CJ Goodwin. Now, I ain't even look at this list. I looked at the list of people who made it. Some of the names who ain't make it hurt on your feelings, man. That's wild. Izzy McQuamu, I thought deserved to play. Now you got to ask yourself: did Izzy make it? Should Izzy have made it over Childress? Damn, you keep Childress and get rid, and then Kemon Hall too. He was balling too. Damn, should Izzy have made it over Childress though? I don't know. I don't know. I like to think so. Coverage wise, you said over Booth. I don't think he's better than Booth though. I don't think he's better than Booth. Booth is better than y'all think. No, Booth is not trash. Booth just needed better coaching. I think Booth is nasty. I think Booth gonna be nice. He had a second round grade for a reason. Yeah, I don't know. Y'all say Izzy over Booth. All right, well, Izzy over Booth in your opinion. Then maybe y'all got that. But he ain't make it either way. That's wild. I ain't expect that though. Kemon Hall was playing well as well though. I think Kemon Hall might have played better than Childress, to be honest with you. Kemon Hall was out here, he's out there fucking taking belt to ass. He was smacking motherfuckers. Excuse my French. Deuce Vaughn, that I know that hurt. You know what I'm saying? I know that hurt. That was crazy. Trayshawn Holden, we talked about. Jalen Brooks, we talked about. My man Princeton Fant, I hope he get back on the practice squad. Because I think Princeton Fant, I don't think he's better than these three tight ends. That's the only problem, but he's a good tight end. But I don't think he's better than Ferg, obviously. He might be better than Shoemaker. He might. He's what I wanted Shoemaker to be, like physical and blue collar, lunch pail, smack you in the mouth type. So you got him down, maybe. And then Spanford is just a physical specimen, both 6'7" or some shit like that, and like 300 pounds, but run like a deer. So I guess he gonna make it. Rivaldo Ferryweather though, remember that name. He gonna catch on somewhere. He's 6'3", 245, I think, but kind of undersized for a tight end. But he reminds me of who that dude that used to play with Vernon Davis in San Fran. Watson, what it was the other one. He went to Tennessee too. He was a tight end. But anyway, he reminded me of that guy. And he made some crazy catches. Thought he was nice. Who else? John Stevens Jr. I mean, he's always good receiver wise as a receiving option, but he can't block worth a damn. I didn't think he was gonna make the team. Malik Davis, they did Malik Davis dirty. Malik Davis gave you the best. If the preseason was the postseason, Malik Davis gave you the best time of his life. You know, he gave you the best energy he had to offer because he was smacking people on special teams. He came off of 2 weeks' notice, came in, no training. He just came off the bus, running up the gut, 20 yards, killing it. You know what I'm saying? Smacking people at the end of his runs, finishing runs. Malik Davis, he tried. You know, I think he deserved to do something. Elijah Clark, he actually from here. Elijah Clark is from around here. People I know him. He didn't make it. My bad. I didn't mean to be insensitive because I wasn't. It sounded like I was trying to be smart. I wasn't even trying to be smart, but I guess sometimes it can sound like you're being an asshole. But I'm not. Tyrus Wheat, I thought he should have made it too. But you know, I think that if you ask me, is he better than Houston? Hell no. You know what I mean? And then when you look at the cornerback room, Josh Butler, yeah, if these guys are coming back, Revel and Josh Butler are coming back, it wasn't going to be much room for Izzy McQuamu to play anyway, because I know once Revel enters that room, you know, that pushes Caleb Carson, I think, out that room maybe, but it pushes him down a notch either way, because I think Revel Revel is the better talent there, in my opinion. And then Josh Butler, with the way he played for us last year, I like him better than everybody not named Bland or Diggs, to be honest with you. So yeah, I think that's pretty valid to cut Mukwamo at that point. But yeah, man. Yeah, CJ Goodwin got released. I mean, you see these young boys running down on punts, smacking people. The running backs, everybody was smacking. So it was like, all right, we kind of. I think Schottenheimer is like, we can get a guy who can run down here and smack, but he can do other stuff. CJ Goodwin, no shade to the guy. He was here for a while, but I don't necessarily like, other than the long snapper, I don't like nobody on my in the kicker. I don't really like nobody on the team that just like you just, you just do special teams. You know what I'm saying? Um, no, because you should be able to do other things. That like I need like Ike Reese was a special teams ace, right? What was it? Larry Izzo, was it that's his name? Somebody, not Larry Izzo. It was some Izzo from the Patriots, I think his name was. But these guys are special team aces, but they also was linebackers. I mean, if somebody got hurt, they got to play. Bill Bates was the man on special teams. He come down, smack your face off. But he also had to play when people got hurt. He got to play. CJ Goodwin ain't worth a damn as a corner. I ain't never even seen him listed as a corner, even though he's a corner. But he ain't never gonna play corner because he's like the Devin Hester of gunners. Meaning Devin Hester ain't had no position. He just was special teams, kickoff return ace. You know what I mean? CJ Goodwin ain't got no position. He just run down the field and hit stuff real good. You know what I mean? So they said, hey, if we lost a little bit of that, but gained another roster spot because we got a tweener that can now stay here instead of giving him a roster spot, but we could keep a guy like Jaden Blue who we just use you to run down, or we can keep certain guys that we probably would like a Childress. With your Childress, you got to do that too. Get what I'm saying? So I think that's better for me. he said motherfucker played corner for us one time. What's up, Dave Jenkins? He said at some point we gotta have a functional dude as a corner if he gonna be on special if he gonna be a special teams ace. Yeah, as a fact. You gotta be able to play at some point. He said he hasn't done anything worth talking about in a while. That's facts. He said Goodwin will be back. Goodwin coming back. He said, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, man. Well, as I said to y'all, oh, there's another thing too. Be on the lookout for. I don't know if you're gonna change the name. I think you should, but I'm just honest. But be on the lookout for my man Chris on in Creshman Media because I will be there. Excuse me. I will be there doing boxing commentary starting September 13th. So be on the lookout for that. I will start posting it here as well, so that you guys know that it exists, and then you can go there and follow me there. But be on the lookout for that. Also, I'm traveling. Like I said, shout out to Darius Jr., my son. He's competing in a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament in Vegas on Thursday. So I'll be traveling tomorrow. I'm about to go check him out. And hope he I ain't gonna say nothing crazy about the other. Hope he wins. I'm gonna just say that. We're a little violent over here sometimes in the Kuwait home, but I hope he has some fun, man. This should be a fun trip. He's 20 now, so I get to go to Vegas with my grown son, man. That's gonna be fun. He about to be 21. Yeah, man. That's fun. I ain't not that kind of fun, but you know what I mean. That's some fun. All right. All right. Yeah. Let me see. Damn, I'm late to the live. Yeah, you late as hell, Jamal. Reezy, what up, man? King Reezy. You from Philly? I think we talked before, but I'm like, that's King Reezy. It's a rapper that was killed here named General Reezy. They all everybody from Beirut, all Easies, Reezy, Skeezy, Skazies. They all got like weird easy names in there. I don't know what you call it. These young whippersnappers. You know what I'm saying? But if you're from Philly, you know what I'm talking about. What week do you think Mafa will be brought back up? Your guess is as good as mine, buddy. But I think Mafa, he gives you a good handcuff to a Jamal Williams. So if Williams gets hurt, they have a similar running style. They both will run through you, and they both have good contact balance. So I think that's what he's for. I don't think it's for anything else. Um, I think your short yardage guy is Hunter Lipke. I think that your all-purpose guy is Williams, and I think that your slasher starter is Sanders, and then your handcuff for Sanders is Blue. Your handcuff for Williams is Mafa. You know what I'm saying? So you can see what style they want. They want Thunder and Lightning, and they got young version and old version. Young version might not have the vision yet, might not have the durability yet. So they'll get rotated in as needed. Old version will get the workload, but because they got some miles on them, if they should flatten a tire for whatever reason, God forbid, you got these young guys on the team ready to go. So I think that's what their plan is at back. I think that's how they'll deploy it this season. Could be wrong, but that's just me talking off the top of my head. He said Maffa got ran into the ground at Clemson. Yeah. He said, let me see. He said them Africans always be big and fast, but get hurt because football ain't natural for them. Oh man, yeah, let's not do that. Well, Christian Okoye, he didn't get hurt, did he? I also only average. Oh no. Indomitium Sue. What you talking about? You got Indomitium Sue. You got who else? There's a lot of Africans that be balling that don't get hurt all the time. I know also Diggy Zua got to be African with that name. I know he African. Yeah. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Yep. All right, but yeah, let me go. He said Sue wasn't on offense. Oh, yeah, that's true. Wasn't Pierre Garcon, wasn't he African? He ain't get hurt all the time. Football. Okoye got hit and disappeared after Steve Atwater knocked him out. He's like, I don't want to play no more. Like he's done. All right, man. He said Booth can't cover in a phone booth. Damn, that's messed up. You did that to that boy, man. He might be good from the nickel. Y'all just woke up and chose violence tonight. That's wild, man. That's why it's fucked up. I'm telling you, said it. I guarantee you ask for his autograph when you meet him. That's wild. Talk to y'all. Peace.